Mmm. It tingles on my tongue.
Hi, I'm LJ.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Wong.
And welcome to another taste test. Jen, what are we doing today?
Today I'm going to ask you, how do you like them apples? How do you like them apples?
How do you like dem apples?
How do you like them apples?
Do you have the phone number on the piece of paper to...
I got a number of apples, so how do you like them apples? Apples aren't your favourite.
No, I have to say out of all the fruits, they're probably down the bottom of the list.
Okay, well that's a shame because I've prepared a whole platter of fruit for you and the whole platter is made of 8 apples.
Look, I mean, for you, Jen, I will eat anything.
Okay.
So as a friend.
I thought what we could do today is try some apples, and as a palate cleanser between each apple, we can have some salt and vinegar chips because you love salt and vinegar chips.
That is true. I do love salt and vinegar chips.
Okay, so what we've got here is an array of apples starting from the lowest price point at $2.80, which is the Royal Gala, all the way up to this little guy, Envy, for $6.70 a kilo.
$6.70 for apples.
Yeah. Incidentally, Envy is a really funny name for apples because if you were going to choose any name from the 7 deadly sins, wouldn't you go with gluttony? It's just like, I cannot stop eating these apples.
See, the issue is like, can apples like be gluttonous?
Can you be gluttonous? We're about to find out.
Gluttonous, is that a word?
Glutinous?
Glutinous. I was about to say glutinous.
Gluttonous?
That's what I'm thinking is like
it.
glutinous rice. That's what I'm thinking of. Gluttony,
yes.
Gluttonous. No, that's not a word.
Yes, well today you're going to witness some apple gluttony. Alright, so I thought we'd start at the lower end of the price point at $2.80. This is a Royal Gala. A Royal Gala is actually the apple that is the second most eaten apple in Australia, which is pretty amazing because after bananas, apples are the most eaten fruit, which means that apples place second to bananas. You know what we should do? We should cheers, right?
Yeah.
And these sound like peace in Chinese, ping,
Okay.
ping, so we should toast to peace.
Oh, toasting to peace.
To peace.
Ping, ping,
Ping, ping,
Tastes like apple.
Thank you for watching the video. See you next week. Does it taste like an apple that you'd enjoy eating?
Like, apples are not my favourite fruit, so I'm not too discerning about what type of apple I'm eating.
Okay.
Like, there are definitely types of apples where if they're too acidic or they're too mealy, I'm not a fan of.
Okay.
But, I mean, this is nice. It tastes like an apple. I would say it's an apple.
You are correct. This is definitely an apple.
Jen has some apple facts for you.
Okay, I have facts, and you can tell they're facts because I wrote them on some cards. Okay, so the Royal Gala apple. And in conclusion, school uniforms should be compulsory. Thank you. Okay, so the Royal Gala is the second best-selling apple in Australia. It accounts for 23% of all apples sold. And the reason why it's exciting to eat these is that they're the first of the season in a year. So it means that when we're eating these are actually present season apples. So you're getting a fresh apple. As we progress along here, I'm hoping that some of these apples will blow not only your mind, but my mind, because there are some that I haven't tried before. And I've read about them, and they sound pretty amazing.
Especially the Envy one.
Yeah.
At $6.70 a kilo, is it $6.70 a kilo?
Yeah. I can't believe we had the budget for this.
What budget? We blew it. Yeah.
This is our last video.
Royal Gala.
Royal Gala. So it's a medium-sized apple.
I said Gala.
That's right, it's very Australian. Suitable for pies, sauces, and salads. Next, we have the #1 selling apple in Australia, which is the Pink Lady, which is actually an Australian apple. It comes from WA, as in not all the apples that are grown come from WA, but originally came from WA. This is the most popular apple in Australia. It's eaten by 41% of apple eaters. Cheers. It's kind of sour.
Kind of like refreshing, but very sour.
It's funny because I like pink apples and Pink Lady apples, and I've bought them recently, but maybe after eating the Royal Gala one, I'm just not expecting it to be quite so sour.
Is that in season though?
The Pink Lady?
Yeah.
What
does your fat card say?
Okay, this is not in season in the sense that it's usually harvested between April and the first half of May. And so these apples we're eating are from last year.
Oh,
But
okay.
do you know what's interesting is that the acidity of apples is supposed to decrease over time. So Can you imagine how sour and tart these would have been?
So like off the tree, you'll have like the lemon pucker, like
yeah. How do you like them apples?
yeah, they're quite
Yeah,
sour.
they're very,
That's okay,
very
I can make
sour.
them.
Would you like a palate cleanser of salt and vinegar chips?
So I'll go from sour to more sour.
Yeah.
Salt and vinegar chips. Yeah.
Cheers.
Ding. That's huge.
The next apple is Lauryn Hill's favourite. It's the Fuji apple. Comedy is all about timing. Japanese variety first came about in the 1930s in Japan and is known to be a sweeter apple. So hopefully it undoes some of the sourness that we've just experienced.
So I usually buy Fuji apples.
Do you?
If I eat apples normally, I would buy Fuji apples.
Is it because they're sweeter?
Yeah, and they're crisp usually. But if I'm cooking the apples, I'll usually buy something else like Pink Lady or Royal Gala.
Fuji. So pleasing.
Sure is crisp.
Very pleasant, very clear, kind of lovely kind of sweetness. This is actually what I think a good apple should be. All of those things about crispiness, juiciness.
I feel like the Royal Gala one is really nice and sweet. And it's also quite refreshing. But this one kind of has some other, I would say, floral notes.
Ooh, getting into
Floral-
wine territory.
floral notes,
I
yeah.
like that. Like a G sharp. Maybe a B flat. So now we're on to Granny Smith's. This is an apple that I actually never buy because I'm afraid that it will be too sour. It turns out that until the 1800s, fact time.
Apple facts. All the facts.
All the facts. Fact machine. Apples were like divided between these are your cooking apples and these are your eating apples. And until this one came along, kind of locally really, because it's from Eastwood.
Oh, okay.
By a woman called Maria Ann Smith, who had 8 children, hence the granny. Well, I'm going to have a chip and then I'm going to try an extra tart thing. So it's like I'm doing a sour candy experiment.
Next time you should put like sour warheads.
That's what I was thinking of. Okay, I'm going to go in.
I do love the colour of Granny Smith's. Like, it's such a pleasing green.
Remarkably sweet after you eat a salt and vinegar chip. Maybe that's where I've been going wrong all these years. Not enough chips in between bites of apple.
Yeah, definitely acidic.
Is it?
It's weird because it's like what you expect a green apple to taste like, right? Compared to a red apple. Because your brain goes, oh, green, maybe it's unripe.
Yeah, I like that. All the way back to like evolution.
So it definitely tastes more sour.
Okay. But still not as sour as the Pink Lady. To me.
Really? But to me, it feels like young.
Oh, youth.
Youth. It feels, this is the apple.
The ting of the apple.
It's the apple of youth.
Wow, you should sell that to Granny Smith, man.
It's the apple of youth.
I mean, for an apple that's been around for like 150 years or something, they could use a line like that. We're going to get into a new bracket of apples here, and this is into like the premium apple section.
Ooh, premium apples.
When I was reading about apples, I read an apple grower say that apples aren't designed to be eaten fresh off the tree. They're bred to be stored. And they've actually found apples in like caves from like Roman times. How do you like them, old apples? Sic iter ad apple. Such is the way of the apple. They're supposed to be less tart as well, like the longer they've been off the tree. So maybe we're eating an apple that's from last year that is not as tart as if we were to eat an apple, say, in April when we're eating new fresh apples.
Science is crazy.
Yeah, science is crazy. And the fact that all of these apples have been cultivated in a way that's pleasing to us. It fits our hand. It's the right shape and the right crunch and it's the right colour.
I mean, I feel like the more premium you go, the redder they become.
Yeah,
right?
that's a really
Like,
good observation.
In terms of pleasing to the eye, you're like, ooh, that apple looks great.
Yeah.
It's like red, shiny. I feel like as humans, you kind of gravitate towards the color red.
Yep.
And it's also dangerous, but it's also like very pleasing.
dangerous and delicious.
Dangerous and delicious.
Dangerously
Poisonous and delicious.
I'm really excited to tell you about this apple.
Okay, tell me. Okay.
All right, so
I'm listening.
This is the kind of information that I would actually ring you up and say, I have found this fact
Yeah.
about this apple. The Smitten Apple was released in 2019 on Valentine's Day. So it's a very new apple. I don't know if this is an apple exclusively for adults, but it feels kind of adult as an apple. The other reason this is really interesting is that this is like, there's like a tiny window when you can get this apple. It's not available year round. So they pick it in February and it's available in March. And that's it.
That's it. You can't get it anymore.
How do you like that window of time? Like, that's
You gotta get it like in on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
That's
and then
right.
the relationship is over.
By March.
The apple is over.
You are no longer the apple of my eye. Goodbye. This is a combination of 4 different types of apples: Gala, Braeburn, Falstaff, and Fiesta.
Whew.
Oh, I'm so happy. I've never had this before. It's a very happy
It's very
flavor.
fragrant,
Yeah.
right? Like you can't smell anything. I don't think like, apples really smell. But the taste is very fragrant.
It's like if you ate an apple crumble, and after you first tasted the apple, you could taste like cinnamon and like brown sugar or something. Like the note of it goes on for a little while that perhaps doesn't in, say, like a Royal Gala or even a Fuji.
It's not just sweet.
Some
I think,
sour.
yeah. But like, yeah, it's got a lot of depth in a flavor, and yeah, I think for me the best way to describe it is it's very fragrant in its flavor.
Would you say you're smitten with this apple?
A little bit, yeah. I gotta say, like, as somebody who doesn't really buy that many apples, I may look out for these in the future.
Would you put your face on these apples?
Sure, why not?
This next apple perplexes me. It's not an apple that I've eaten before. The apple is called Me, M-I.
Oh, okay. I
As
was
in-
like, me, you, me.
Me, that's where it's confusing because it's like, can you pass me apple, please? And it's just so Australian. Can you pass me apple, please?
So why do they call it a me?
I don't know. This is a very mysterious apple. It puts the me in mysterious. There's very little information on the internet about this apple. All I can tell you, in quotes, is that it's a suspected cross. Not even a confirmed cross. A suspected cross between a Royal Gala and a Fuji. They've only been around since 2017, and at that time, the CEO of this apple company said that maybe one day they could be as big as a Royal Gala. Not in size, but in popularity.
The invention of this apple is like some, evil world takeover plan.
We're gonna get superpowers after eating this one.
Yeah.
All right,
let's go.
Let's go. Would you like me to pass me an apple? Pass me apple.
Pass you me apple.
Texturally, I much prefer the
Look, I'm not a fan.
Smitten.
Just gonna say that. Not a fan.
Is it a little bit floury as well?
It's a bit floury.
Let me check my
It's
notes.
sweet,
Yeah.
but like, is this better than a Royal Gala or a Fuji? No.
No.
And the flavor is not as deep
Yeah.
as the Smitten. I'm a bit afraid now. Like, are these people gonna go after us? They seem very powerful and mysterious.
These aren't for me.
Yeah.
Let's not say that. Big Apple might come after us. New York
look.
City will be like,
No. You may very much like this apple. I think for Jen and myself,
Yes.
it's probably just not quite for us. But you should try it.
You should try
Anyway.
it just so that you know what it tastes like. And also, like, not to diminish the efforts of apple growers, because it takes 6 years for apples to like become market ready, and then 8 years for the crops to be commercially viable.
Wow.
So like, they're putting a lot of years of work into this.
But props to the me people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
right.
Good job.
Don't come after us. I'm super excited. I've never tried a jazz apple in my life.
Okay.
And I'm not just making this up as I go along, but
No jazz hands.
No jazz hands. I didn't even intend to do that. But jazz is super interesting because it's a cross between a Royal Gala and a Braeburn. We haven't had any Braeburns today. Okay, so these apples don't bruise easily. They are known for their crunch, their effervescence. Got a taste for that.
Effervescence.
And they're supposed to be tangy and sweet. They've been around since 2004 and they were originally from New Zealand. What a great way to name an apple. Jazz. It tingles on my tongue.
It's definitely different.
I think this would be a great apple in a salad.
Definitely, yeah.
It's got the crunch, it's got the crisp, it's got a tiny little bit of tartness to it.
Maybe apple, walnut, rocket, goat's cheese? Or feta cheese, maybe? Yeah. With some balsamic glaze on top.
Just make it up as you go.
Jazz.
Jazz.
It's good. I like it.
I like it too.
It's probably like a little bit more acidic than the sweet ones, like the Smitten and the mead.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit more acidity.
Yeah. I can't stop eating it.
But it's interesting. And it's definitely like crispy and effervescent. Like it's a weird like thing about to say an apple is effervescent, but you do feel it, don't you?
Yeah.
Like your tongue feels tingly.
It does.
Like is that
What
just the
is in
acid? Is that just the acid? Like what are we
Are we
eating?
having a reaction? Like,
It's like
a positive
it's
reaction.
actually just like a slight allergic reaction to apples.
Are my lips swelling? I'll just keep eating.
It's very nice, yeah.
I just realized, warning, upcoming Chicago reference. I just
Chicago.
ate all that jazz. I ate the whole thing. Yeah. And all that jazz. Well, this is the last apple. This is the apple called Envy. What a name. Envy. This apple is apparently the highest selling apple in Asia. I had never heard of this apple before I went looking for apples. This is actually a sister apple to the jazz. So they come from the same kind of family. Here, let me offer you some Envy.
Thank you.
Oh, I
Very
wish I
exciting.
had some. Sorry, I have one.
All that jazz.
All right, can I cheers you to the
Cheers.
last? All right, to peace.
To peace.
This is a strange apple.
That tastes like candy. That is so sweet. That's like straight up sugar.
I miss the jazz. I miss the jazz that had a little bit of sour going on.
That's not an apple anymore.
Do you know what this tastes like? A grape.
Tastes like a really sweet pear as well.
Straight. Oh, you know what you just did there? You made a comparison. Because at its core, this is what today is about. All these appealing jokes. No, but don't you think it just had one?
It's just sugar. Pure sugar.
Okay, so the interesting thing about this apple, sugar aside, is that the white flesh stays white after you cut it, as opposed to, say, that one, which is quite brown.
Lies. That's brown.
It's kind
It's
of
totally
white.
brown.
It is a little brown.
It's totally brown. Look
Well,
at
it's
that.
supposed to stay white, and which
That's
is why
totally
they say that it's good for
compare
cheese
that to
boards.
that's a Smitten. I think
Maybe
they're
it
lying to
doesn't.
you. I think they're lying.
They
to you.
told me that it was supposed to be good for cheese boards because it maintains its white color.
That's a Royal Gala. It just sounds better when you say
Yeah,
Royal Gala.
yeah,
Royal
it's
Gala.
named after
So
birds.
that's Royal Gala. That's
I'm thinking that there's a bit of browning going on. In conclusion,
In conclusion, Jen, what's your favorite apple?
I think I like the jazz. What about you?
Is that because you like musicals? I mean, I love musicals too. But I feel like you can make a lot of riffs on the jazz apple.
Do you like every time I finish an eating one, I'm just like, I just had all that jazz. Just like the joke never goes wrong. It was the jazz and the Smitten that were ones that we really warmed to.
I think the Smitten's my favorite.
Yeah.
And I've never had it before, so I think that's really exciting. But I really like Royal Gala and Fuji. I think those two
Yeah.
are really solid. And Royal Gala that's the cheapest apple, isn't it?
At the moment it is, at $2.80.
$2.80.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Nice
with
one.
that apple. Whoop. Well, thanks, Jen, for teaching me all about these apples and letting me try some new ones. I don't think I would have gone out and purchased a Smitten or a Jazz or a Me or what's the last one? It was the
Envy.
The Envy apple. So now I know it's really cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity. I would never walk by a Jazz apple previously. I would never have walked by and picked up a Jazz apple and thought, today I'm going to eat this apple. But that's what we did today.
For your benefit, as always.
Thanks for watching, and let us know, how do you like them apples?
And as always, if you like our videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I felt very healthy eating
wholesome.
so many apples. It's the most apples I've ingested in a while. Thanks, Jen.
That's all right.
As always.